Got important stuff for everybody. Okay. Hey, you just came out of the iPhone, so I can change your name so people know who you are. Hey, Ginger, what's up? All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and start. It's too important to wait. We'll have
Hey,
people
it's
join.
Amanda.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Cool. Hey, it's a long time no see. What's up?
Hey,
Cool. All right.
everybody.
Hey. So
There she is.
housekeeping notes, and there is a mistake in this schedule in here. Tonight is our 97th Zoom for RCIC AI. Probably like, I don't know how many more we've done besides that. So tomorrow will be 98. Next Wednesday, this says we're not meeting. Next Wednesday we are. But next Wednesday on 99, we are going exclusively over surplus and overbid. And then we're taking next Thursday off because I've got to do an eye appointment, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to. They're going to give me those, those little glasses they give you after LASIK or whatever. I'm not doing LASIK, but so I want to have them. So when we return August 5th, that'll be the 100th Zoom for RCIC. That's pretty good. So just want to let everybody know. So tonight we're going to do front office. The other thing is, so a few people don't probably know that a couple of weeks ago I got YouTube removed one of our Zooms that we had. It was a really good one where we showed an NED, we showed a selection demand. They said because it showed people that it was non-public, and I'm like, this is all public information. So there's no way to fight it. You try to appeal. Like less than 5 minutes later, they denied the appeal. So I still have it on like to show people, but we can't really show the NEDs and the actual with people's names on it, at least all the detail. So if anybody wants those, we'll do special sessions where we don't record them, and then I can also do one-on-ones just to give everybody kind of a heads up. That's the first time it's ever. I mean, I've showed that like so many times. I don't know why one video would would get knocked down when there's like 30 other ones that show the exact same thing. So tonight we're going to talk about the front office. This is the schedule I just told you about. So tonight we're talking really trying to get an automation. Also, everybody knows I do have we do have the rehab and scope engine GPT as well as Capital Passport. I do also have the surplus and overbid one. If anybody wants that, if you're doing surplus and overbid, it's pretty cool. We'll go over that really extensively next Wednesday. I've also built Skip Wizard, which is a new. It's an app, one of the using Anthropic. It's pretty cool. It'll be ready by Friday. It's pretty solid for batch skip tracing. So you're not just doing one. You can put a CSV, you can put an Excel, PDF, whatever, and go in there and do as many as you want. And it'll use Anthropic because Anthropic will mine, whereas OpenAI will scrape. It barely scrapes. So just to kind of create resources. You can get it or you don't. Everybody here, you obviously get it. That's part of the what you've already paid for in the past. So just let me know if you want it. I'll get it to you to beta test it. But it's a skip. We're calling it Skip Wizard. Like I had some cheesy lines for it, like that Wizard of Oz. We're off to see the wizard. I put we're off. Never mind. I don't need to go there. That was funny for a second. Okay, so everybody's the HJs. Surplus and overbid. We've been generating a lot of with the Delta sweeps. So as everybody knows how to run the Delta sweeps, it's kind of cool. And I'll show you guys real quick in core for those of you who haven't been on. I know I revamped the core a little bit. And so obviously, we still got the modes with learning mode and all that. We still got set up or update my buy box. This one's deployed Delta Sweep protocol. If you're already, got your buy box and all that established, you can use the deployed Delta Sweep protocol. But if people are brand new or they just want to go through the complete process, do the distress the deal playbook. Because what it'll do, it basically starts at the beginning. Like I said, it comes through, and I'm just going to show you guys. You can all go into it on your own and look through it. It's pretty cool. It'll define your buy box. So it gets into the buy box card like we've used before. It's pretty cool. You can just copy and paste it down here and fill it out and then press send. It'll also build your distress source map. So your core source categories, the treasurer, clerk and recorder, sheriff, code enforcement, assessor, all the vacancy indicators, mailing mismatch, absentee ownership, code overlap, it'll do all that. So your first, people's first field objective when they're in RCIC, most everybody here has been in for a while, but if you want to kind of go through and kind of revamp or change up some stuff, identify 3 sources and contact at least one of the office, one office out of all these and start pulling and requesting data. It's pretty sweet. Then you can normalize records and produce a high top 5 priority list. Then you guys get into normalizing your score your leads. So it'll actually score all the leads, going from property address, parcel APN, county jurisdiction, the owner name, mailing address, source type, all that goes through all this. It'll pull all that info. You can build it all. You get into scoring logic, and it goes into stacked signals. The more signals you can get, the better, obviously on the deal. And so you guys get into distress intelligence, your deal analysis, MRA, ARV comps, skip tracing, rehab scope of work, comms, and dialer VA ops. The one thing I won't probably ever do is actually build a dialer and voice agents. Just I don't think the voice agents are there yet, and a lot of issues with dialers with TCPA and all that stuff, new regulations. I know Deal Machine, he actually got rid of his dialer. He doesn't offer a dialer anymore. So we probably won't ever do that, but RCIC will do everything for you up until that point where you actually make contact. Verify property facts before valuation, so don't comp off vibes. So like I said, you guys can go through this on your own and kind of you'll learn everything. Then you get into the comp sweep. So you can go in and you can make changes sold within 0 to 6 months. All the different things you can go in and change it. But it has a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and 4, and it has rejection. So obviously, if it's a tier 1, it's pretty solid, and you can copy and paste this, and you can change it up to make it yours. And then you got your ARV confidence score, so you can go down and again copy and paste it in here and put it in your projects, and start programming your ARV output. Then you get into choose your acquisition path. If after ARV and signal review, route the lead. So it's all programmed for wholesaling, for flip, for BRRRR, rental, novation. If it's a listing referral from an agent, creative finance, or it's pass recycle, you can go to that. And then you go to the templates. So you got to distress the deal lead sheet. You can just copy and paste, go down here to your box, and you can go through and then fill out all this information off the information you generate for that property. And it's pretty cool. Then you got your ARV and triage template, and your wholesale MAO template, and it's got all the formulas, and there's all the glossary. And then you got your skip trace readiness checklist. So just keep in mind, like I said, skip wizard will be available by Friday. It's pretty incredible. I'm gonna probably do a skip wizard GPT as well, just so we have it. So it's all just nothing but skip tracing resources. So you can go through that on your checklist. Then you got your outreach plan template. So this is cool. Then you got a weekly operating, it goes through Monday, what you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then over the weekend, really Monday through Friday, risk flags, and then your time box. So realistically, you can build it your own in about 7 days. If you just do one thing a day. Day 1, you do buy box. Day 2, you do your source map. Day 3, you do your first data pull. Day 4, you do top 5 ranked leads. Day 5, property facts, comp sweep. Day 6, ARV confidence acquisition path. Day 7, skip trace. So it's pretty cool what you can do on all this. Pretty cool on that. Let me go in there. Okay, and then you guys, like I said, then you got the other ones. You guys can go to deploy Delta Suite. Now you'll see there's some differences in it. So if people are brand new, you really want to use distress the deal, but you can't go wrong using any of the 3. Just so you know, we've talked about the BuyBox one for a while. This gets right into Delta Suite source map first. So you start with the upstream AHJ map. You get into the county clerk and recorder, and then you get the treasurer, the tax collector, the assessor, the appraisal district, the sheriff, and the trustee sale platform, code enforcement, building department, and you got GIS and parcel. So next you're going to get into public service or distress signal. So this will tell you what agency, why it matters, what's the likely source, what the first action is. If it's a tax delinquency, if it's a probate, foreclosure, eviction, code violations, things like that. Then you got your signal stacking. So that's why you don't have to look at a single signal. If you got a tax delinquent and absentee owner and 10-year-olds old, that's a priority. If you end up getting a probate filing and the property's owned by the decedent and no recent sale, that's a good opportunity. Foreclosure estimate, equity estimate, no MLS activity, that's good. So it gives you all your signals. So then you get into your Delta Sleep scoring model. It's 100 points. So it tells you, how it scores, what the logic is. You can't beat it. You can copy and paste that. So that's pretty simple. Then your acquisition paths by signal type, tax delinquency, probate estate paths, foreclosure, trustee, sale paths. Most people in this group are going to be in that. Your code and violation path, vacancy path. Then you guys getting your county HG data source checklist, and it's got all your checklists. So keep in mind, like I said, when we talked about this in the past, we started talking about projects, right? And what you guys want to do, mine's obviously a little bit different than yours because I build a lot of stuff in here. But you guys will see. Let's see if I can pull it up where it's at. There's you guys want to do a buy box project. So after you do the buy box and you basically will do it, then you can build your buy box one, and then you got your my markets. So you can build my markets right there, and you guys can use that one. So your first project's going to be buy box, your second one's going to be your markets. That's pretty cool. And then you guys can do that. So build it all in projects. So it's pretty simple there. And then you guys can get into it's pretty cool what it'll do for you. So do buy box first and then buy markets. Let's just see what we have in there. So guys, this is what a lot of leads will look like. You'll get the ranking. It'll have the FCs, like the foreclosure number, case number. You'll get the property information, the balance, the public value signal, the spread signal, and all the action. And you get all these links over here. So it's pretty cool. You can, like I said, it's pretty simple, pretty cool over there. So let me get back here to this, my markets. So I'm going to go and look at market opportunity analysis. So I'm going to really quick run something real quick. Can you run market reality assessment on, let's just say, on zip code 80916. It's going to take a minute. This is El Paso County, Colorado Springs, guys. So you can do this. Here's your off ramp, your link. You can click on this. It gets the docx. So here's what you guys will go into. Basically, you can start doing these on zip codes. So like I know Warren, you're in on Knox County, those counties, you're looking at surplus and overbid. Anybody else, Doris, Amanda, Arliss, anybody in here, you guys can you can put in zip codes and do a market reality assessment. And then it'll help you program things. This gives you what your acquisition competition is, what an opportunity score. There's a moderate innovation potential. Subject to potential is high. This is a zip code. It's awesome. So you guys can get in the zip code. So this will explain that zip code in those neighborhoods. 80916 is one of Colorado Springs' established residential zip codes with a large inventory of 1970s and 1990s housing, with a significant percentage of owner occupants alongside investor-owned rentals and proximity to Fort Carson and Peterson's Space Force Base. I have to kind of get used to that. It was a little Air Force Base. The guide specifically highlights military transfer to absentee owner signals as important acquisition channels. So that's kind of cool. And then, we got the guides in here. Jefferson, El Paso, Douglas. So it's referencing our guide. So guys, when you put in your market guides, eventually you can just start referring to any market guides that have been used by anybody. That's intelligence. So you can start, you can do Colorado. So here you guys go, public trustee, here's military relocation, landlord fatigue, probate, tax delinquency, and then you guys get into overbid and excess proceeds. So I'm going to go ahead and real quick run something real quick for that. Can you examine surplus and overbid? For 80916. So you guys go into here now, you got your surplus and overbid assessment. So those of you doing surplus and overbid, I know, Ginger, you're doing a Warren. Anybody that's doing that, you guys can go in there and start looking at, like, ask it to do a market reality assessment on surplus and overbid in those zip codes. So if you're in Knox County, if you're in Volusia County, if you're in, Bear County, if you're in Jefferson County, wherever you're at, have it do that, because it'll start helping you train. You can save this. You can go over to a project and you can start building your surplus and overbid markets. So you can start saving this information, start training your system. So this guide, here's the card operator market guides again. This is telling you exactly what's going on. It's proceeds, overbid verification, and to the public trustee. Specifically, they do at El Paso County, which is Colorado Springs, obviously, they do advise their county clerk. I don't know, they're elected, so they could be up for this year in November. They currently advise former owners to contact its office if this foreclosure sale generated funds in excessive liens. So they do actively tell people. Most counties and places don't. There is no requirement. We're going to go into this extensively during surplus and overbid next weekend. So, but here's a verified 80916. This is a recent surplus and overbid on Tiny Ridge Drive. I'm going to try to go up on that one so I don't show that address. So it's got the sale date was February 4th, 2026. We can go in here, we can find out exactly what it is open, what's open for that. And you can go right to this, you can click right here at notice registry. So you can go in here every Wednesday. You guys want to set a schedule on your tier 2, tier 1s, tier 2, tier 3. You guys can go in tier 4, you can go in there and start searching all this. So you got a lot of high value targets. Older owner-occupied homes with substantial equity, military families that have relocated, properties sold above lender payoff, estates where heirs may be unaware of remaining funds. Then you guys can run a Delta sweep for surplus and overbid. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to go ahead and, because I'm not going to put Rule 120, because I'm going to pull up a different state. Can you examine surplus and overbid opportunities for Knox County, Tennessee? Then, and I just copied that. Let it populate, and there you go. So now it's a live run. So you guys see it's searching. So this is something else you want to do, Warren, and then also Ginger in your markets. Anybody doing surplus and overbid. But guys, surplus and overbids come out on foreclosure. So if you start looking at surplus and overbid, you'll also get a lot of foreclosure. It's just another way to do it. This is a substantial tax sale exceeds proceeds pipeline. There's a docket, so you can search this. I will save this as a PDF. Can we save this? And since this is your market, Warren, I'll send this to you after we're done with this. And then you can, that way you kind of get an idea what's, there you go. And maybe still working, there you go. Here goes, here's the code. I'm gonna go right back up to the top. Watch you guys watch what this just did. Here you guys go. So I just saved that. There you go. This is Knox County. So right now the final report is 195 sold parcels. So Warren, when you're asking this morning how many leads there are, there's 195 potential there. 4.59 million in winning bids. There's in reported excess proceeds about a little under 3.5 million. There's the website, and I'll send you this PDF. And for anybody else that wants this, I'll show you how to generate it. So it's got all the information. This is a court controlled pipeline of meaningful dollar amounts. So you guys go right here. Here's the queue. So I did save that in the PDF. It has the defendant, it has the name, the property, the reported excess, and the redemption. You know, how long they have until redemption. You know, so here's top 15 right there. And it goes into the timelines. And then it goes into all the sale information, redemption, sale confirmed, petitions filed, liens, everything. So you guys can go in and it'll start telling you A1. It starts giving you the immediate targets you need to look at, high dollar, near team redemption. And then it gives you those addresses. There are 6 addresses that are very high priority. Estate and air cases. So if it's marked at EST, it's an estate, an air case. So you guys go, there's some estates right there. And then you get into multiple parcel common owner dust clusters. So it has those. And then so Knox County weekly Delta sweep. You'd want to run this. Anybody that wants to run your Delta sweep, it's going to actually go and tell you what to run as a sweep. The Knox County trustee, the tax sales, the chancery court, clerk and master, the property assessor, register of deeds. And you guys get into the tax sale, the new overbid notices or excess entries, newly published former owner names, newly claimable funds, gets into recently claimed funds. So it starts breaking it down. Once you get into there, it'll start telling you. And then what you want to do is just kind of save you guys want to kind of save the reports, the PDFs, or the CFCs. You can actually copy and paste with your mouse and come back over and put it in your buy box and put it in your markets and projects. That way you start training it, you start keeping them, start running against the markets in your buy box, because that'll start training your system a lot faster. And then you can actually have this generate and report to your Gmail, send it to your Gmail. Unless you have GHL or Airtable or something, send it to your Gmail because it's free. So if you don't have a Gmail, go set one up, come back and you hit up in here, and I'll show you in a second. Let me get through this real quick. But it's basically in plugins now, and you can go there and within a minute you can connect it to Gmail and have all this sent to your Gmail on a regular basis anytime they update. So this is saved as a PDF. Anybody that hasn't seen this is kind of, our PDFs come out pretty good, guys, pretty easy. So you can read through this on your own. What you can also do is once you get this PDF and I send it to you, you can actually I won't do it here because it'd be redundant, but you can go through, and when you're back in your system, let's say I'm over in projects where I'm in markets or projects, and I'll just, buy box. You can go over here, just put it in one of those and just enter that PDF, like right here, add photos, files, and more. Click there and then add that PDF, and then ask it to run that PDF. That's pretty much how that works, and that'll help you a lot. So, like I said, getting back, so that is Knox County. So I'll send that to you after we're done. One. As you guys, anybody met Warren yet? He's from Australia. So I didn't even want to say hi to Warren. Is he on? There you go. Hey Warren, what's going on? Just to introduce you to everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Nate. Yeah, appreciate being part of this group. Looking forward to see what we can do. A
Yeah.
lot of learning by the looks of it.
Yeah, so I'll get that PDF just in time, because what time is there now, right? About what, mid-morning?
9:24 a.m.
1:24?
9:24.
9:24. Okay. You're just starting your day then. Yeah, I'll get this PDF to you so you can actually just plug that into yours and start, and that'll help you a little bit.
So if we're doing other markets, other counties, I can copy and paste that and just change the county name.
Yeah, you can use that plus those market guides that I already sent you. So anybody that has a market guide, any county, you could go in and you could add it. I'll show you guys in a second. I'm just real quick. Let me show you what Gmail is, and then I'll get back to that. So you guys can click on Gmail. You need to have a Gmail account set up, save your login, your password. You come over here, click on this, it'll connect you within a minute. Have everything sent to your Gmail. Okay, back to your question real quick. Let me get back to that real quick. Let me go to projects. So on market guides, actually, let me find my market guides one. Let me show you real quick. on that one. Let me actually do one, and I'll show you how it works live. So I have my market guides one. You guys might want to have a market guides, project just for future. You have markets one and a market one. But let's say right now, I want to go ahead and let me find a market guide real quick. Let me go market guides. There we go. Downloads. Let's see. Okay. So this one is for Washington State, Spokane, and inland. So um, obviously on the Idaho border. Can you Can you duplicate this? This Spokane, Washington market guide. And build one for, I don't know, let me try to think what is a good county. Let's just say Volusia, because it's one of our high on, it's one of those high ones I'm listing right now. Volusia County, Florida, primarily. And the HJs for foreclosure and surplus overbid. PDF. So it's going to search through it. It's going to start pulling up all that information from Volusia County, Florida. So outside of like Orange County and Dade and a few other ones, Bliss Palm. Anybody know where's Volusia County? Does anybody know what it covers? Because it's high on our foreclosure and our surplus and overbid. It comes up all the time. So I don't know if anybody wants to tell me where that. I can look it up later. Maybe it'll show up in the searching. Believe it or not, there's some counties I don't know. Like there's counties in Colorado I don't remember. So it's taken a minute going through these clerks. It's going to build it. When it's saved it, I'll show you guys what it looks like, and I'll throw it in the in Volusia because I think that's one of your markets. Also, Warren. Volusia would be good too because Florida's tends to be pretty good on. Florida's tends to be really good except for Orange County, Orlando, for everything. Otherwise, Orlando kind of sucks. Some of the Orange counties in some of the areas you can actually get really good results, but in the actual city of Orlando, they have something that goes back to their charter that it's I don't know, it's just different there. So it's building it right now, all the tables and hyperlinks. So the hyperlinks that you guys will see in these are what we call the off ramps. Those who've been around for a while know that, but just to let you guys know, so it's generating that PDF, I'll show it to you guys. And like we will be going over next Wednesday. I mean, it kind of sounds like it tonight, but next Wednesday is going to be 100% surplus and overbid. So it has all the Volusia County Judicial Foreclosure HJs, real foreclosure auction access, the mortgage foreclosure surplus claims, tax deed auctions, separate workflows for mortgage surplus, clerk cases. It has the direct clickable HJ links and operator off ramps. It has the Delta Suite priorities and distressed deal routing. So there you go. There is that. I will save that in PDF. Guess what? This is what it's going to look like. Pretty cool. This is I'm really happy the way these things come out. So what you want to do on here, anybody, when you guys get a market guide, like I said, it's just easy to take a market guide you already have and have it duplicate it. Like you don't need me. So if you want to go in there, just duplicate them in mass, you can. Just they'll come out like this. And so you guys see it's going to have your market identification. It's going to have your AHJ maps for Volusia County, all the AHJ routings. It's going to have all the auction information. It's going to have all the data sources, all the lead channels. It's going to have all the local intelligence. And guess what? It's got the contacts, and these are the off ramps. So what you guys will want to do on these, it's got the prompt. So here's the prompt. So what you guys want to do is just add it to your, go and add it to your markets and your markets project, and ask it to incorporate this for Volusia County as a market for you, and have it do that, and have it deploy the Delta Sweep, this operator prompt. Guess what? You're going to be generating Volusia County within 1 to 2 days. It usually takes a couple of days. If you do it on Friday, you probably won't see it till Tuesday. Obviously, you guys know like government workers tend to check out earlier on Fridays. I know I used to when I was a fire chief. I'd be like, because I had comp time, so I'm like, I can leave at noon today. Because
So you go to market, would you? So
yeah,
with that document, projects, and you set up as a new project, just drag
yeah,
and drop that into it.
yeah. You can drop it right into a project, into your markets, into projects. So set up one for markets, and you got your buy box already. Your buy box is different than markets because that's what you're looking specifically for.
Yes.
Somebody's looking for foreclosures, they want to go in there and tell them what they're looking for: foreclosures, single family residence. Generally what they're looking for. It goes through the whole gamut. There's like 20 questions. The markets is where you want to put these market guides, and then you ask it to deploy the Delta Suite with that prompt. So it already has the prompt in that PDF, which is pretty simple. It's pretty cool. Let me see if I can send that to you right now. Let me send that to you, Warren. There you go. Let me send that thing to you right now. Give me 1 second. It's kind of slow. It's been slow all day. And I'll go to downloads. That should be on the top. Since I just did it. Let's see what I've got. Just real quick. It's all files. I gotta go through it. See, I got a lot of stuff I worked on today. No, I might have to go and resave it again. There you go. There's your Volusia County. There you
Okay, go. Yeah, thank you.
go. Yeah. So there's your Volusia County.
So markets, new project, markets, or markets, new project. Just drag and drop it,
Yeah.
and then I can just replicate that by using the same text as
Yeah.
you've got there.
So anybody can go through your list of any counties you want to add, just duplicate them. Ask it to duplicate it. Make sure tell it what you're looking for: foreclosure, surplus and overbid, and things like that. And you want all the paths, all the links, the hyperlinks, the off ramps, and you'll get that same report. And you can duplicate that in every zip code in the United States, every county. You can go every county in the United States. It's just it takes a while to do that.
And with the
So I made it
surpluses,
simple so you guys can just rinse and repeat.
with the surplus, you'll talk about it next week. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's just and like because a lot of what you're gonna find, Warren, too, is a lot of places the surplus and overbids are gonna come at the same list of foreclosures because they tend to be managed by the same departments in those counties. The taxes, things like that. Eventually, the money will transfer through the treasurer to the states. Usually, in most states, I think something like 30 states, where it transfers after 6 months, where the state holds it, but people still go to the county and then they claim it in the state, like except for
Yeah,
yeah,
state funds are different normally. So a lot of
yeah,
times, I'm working state funds right now. It's on different. It's a little bit different. So
yeah, yeah,
sometimes they have those things on there, but not that often.
yeah. They're different. I mean, I'm learning a lot about it too. And the surplus and overbid, I also reworked the surplus and overbid I built a second one because a lot of people are using the first one. It's more of it's definitely a different way to do it. A little bit more and it covers foreclosures and stuff like that. And then I've also got the skip wizard, which will be ready on Wednesday. Skip wizard's pretty simple, pretty sweet. It's actually going a lot of good stuff in there. It's pretty incredible. And then I'll build a skip wizard GPT as well. And so you guys want to see obviously we go into core. Let me go to my GPTs real quick. And so if I go to my GPTs, I got surplus and overbid right here. So this is where where I build it at. So you guys see there's surplus and overbid operator mode. You can run a fresh or legacy surplus. There's the Delta Suite mode. You got learning mode, teach me how to verify a surplus lead, core triage mode. So I can send anybody who wants to get wants this GPT, you guys can have it. You guys know I updated a lot of stuff. This RCIC knowledge doc right here is the third one on the list. The one in blue, the second, that's 274 pages. That was an update I made this week, 274 pages. And then I put all these modules, so it's pretty extensive on what this does. We'll preview it real quick. So, yeah, that's pretty good. That's our GPT there. And I'll be pinning it to myself, but if anyone wants that GPT, let me know and I'll get it to you and all that. We'll go back to core real quick. So everybody remembers the core has the modes. So you can go to learning mode. It doesn't have surplus and overbid on it because we'd have to go back and reconfigure some stuff, but learning mode. So if I go to switch to learning mode, just type in switch to learning mode. The two commands are switch to whatever mode you want. And then, you can basically put return to default. So here I'm going to go in here. I'm going to ask it, can you teach me how to pull leads for surplus and overbid? So it's going to think about it. So it's going to go through this. If anybody wants to learn about it, you guys can go in and actually teach you this. So it's all conceptual guidance, but it'll give them the next actions, understand the lead type. So it usually means a property was sold at auction and the bid exceeded the amount needed to satisfy the foreclosing party, tax authority, lien holder, or judgment amount. So example, the judgment was $95,000. The winning bid was $135,000. The potential overbid is $40,000. That excess may become surplus funds, depending on local law, liens, costs, and claim priority. So if it's $40,000, different states have different percentages you can charge people to help them recover 10 to 40%. So you have to research what state, what they require, and all the rules for that state or all the rules for that county. You could potentially make anywhere from $4,000 to $16,000 depending on the state if you were to help those people get their $40,000. They're entitled to it. So here you guys go. It'll teach you about where the surplus leads come from. Foreclosure sale surplus, the sheriff, trustee, clerk, foreclosure auction, tax deed overbid. You get an HOA, I forget what COA is, foreclosure surplus, and you get a municipal lien code sale surplus, mortgage. So it's not just really foreclosures. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of there's overages and surplus.
Hey Nate, that HOA stuff's kind of hard to find, so that's a good deal right there. That's kind of a different niche because it's hard to find because you have to actually normally go into the records and see who had a court date or whatever. So they're harder to find when you pull a list. So
I'm sure HOAs are more private until they get
yeah, exactly. So
and so this will map local offices to control records, court recorder, treasurer, assessor, sheriff, all that. GIS is I don't, I don't know really on GIS what they actually can help you do. It's mapping. Like when I was when I was in the county fire marshal in Las Cruces, the GIS office was right next door. So I used to bother them all the time. They used to have these big map things, the big printers that do maps. It was pretty cool, but I had to be nice to them because they were redoing some of my maps for my fire departments. Builder age. Yeah,
I can tell you exactly how that works.
yeah. It's pretty.
Here, this is how it happens. A lot of times the county mapping service will be different than the actual recorder's office, assessor's office, the collections office, and so forth. So a lot of times, whenever you're having something done, or somebody needs to see who owns what property, they'll end up getting into the GIS, which will show you the mapping, and it'll show you whose name is on there. And in my case, my name is not on my property on the GIS, but it is on the deed. We're currently fighting that out right now in court because your insurance companies, they're going to go with the GIS for verification. Anybody else that wants to verify that you own the property, if you're going for a loan or anything like that, they'll go to the GIS for verification. So if it's different than the actual stuff, you can run into a problem. So that in turn may end up indicate a lawsuit against the county for improper GIS identification. And that may be the reason why you have a court case there. It's going to be extremely rare. As far as I know, I'm the only one besides the other 99 or 98 people in this county that's got the same situation going on. But the fact of the matter is it does happen. So that's where the GIS comes in.
Yeah, this is pretty fascinating. So if you guys just go into learning mode in core, ask it to teach you surplus and overbid, it'll give you exactly what I just went through. I'm saving the PDFs. I can send it, so I can post it, I'll put in the Facebook groups and files. Oh yeah, the PDF creation tools are okay. You guys got to remember also sometimes the PDF and word creation tools aren't available in like the modes. So you kind of got to copy and paste it with your mouse and all that. So I forgot about that. But it does give you guys what not to do. Here's a call script, and it goes through on how to call the AHJ and what to talk about it. So it gives you a script on when you call the county, the clerk, the sheriff, the tax office. It also tells you what not to do. Don't tell owners they're guaranteed money, things like that. There's also a starter for your spreadsheet, your first surplus lead tracker. So you can copy and paste this. You can go over projects. Let's see what happens when I do that real quick. Let me go ahead and paste it. I'm going to go ahead and do a new project. Let's see. This is my surplus lead. I don't know what they were calling it. Tracker. Trying to show you guys some more. So now you got a project and you can save this list in your tracker, and then you can just rinse and repeat, and it goes through all the process. It also recommends adding operational fields. So you guys will see sometimes you'll be in RCIC and you'll be in learning mode. You'll do something, you'll go and put it in project. Then it starts wanting to do more stuff, but it runs through everything. So think about this. When I just did this, you guys go and put that same thing in there. Just go start copying and pasting and building projects where you can start tracking everything, because this will actually give you all the information for your surplus and overbid lead tracker. And you can build this and it has all the information you need. So you can pretty much rinse and repeat, put it in a project. And then you just basically down here, after you add it, go and add all this stuff. Like it gives you, here's your case number and all this, prevents duplicates, makes delta swift comparisons substantially cleaner. Just start then building it off of this project. Now you can start building all your lead trackers. And then, the more stuff you put into it really in the first 30 days, the better, the more intelligent it's going to be. So that's what you kind of want to look through some of these things. Do I want to save these? That's why you copy and paste, go over and set up a project. Just copy and paste what you want, because then it's permanent. So if you like this setup and then you want to come down here and it tells you how to use these, and then it tells you want to you want to add these operational fields. Well, now I'll go ahead and add these operational fields and just do that. Yep. And then it goes through what those are. And now you can go through and you can just keep building and building and building and then get what you want. There's no set thing. We don't have a set thing. I'm not telling you how to, you guys go find out what works best for you. You can go through and build that pretty quick. You saw me do that. Pretty incredible what you guys can do. This is pretty much unlimited. So like I said, we'll have Skip Wizard ready Friday. And then next Wednesday will be all surplus and overbid. That'll be 99. Tonight's 97 for Zooms. Tomorrow will be 98. We'll do back office stuff. And then 99 will be all surplus and overbid. August 5th will return after Thursday next week. It'll be our 100th Zoom. And I will be back to, I think I'm going to try to change it up a little bit and start getting it more into getting the deal structure stuff going and getting it to Capital Passport and all that stuff. Start getting it funding. And everybody wants the database of the 1,382 lending and capital sources. Let me know. I'll send you the Excel. What I would do there is like, again, I got a project, right? I have a project for everything. I'm going to say, and I'm going to go ahead and put capital lending sources. And so you guys can do exactly what I'm doing. I'll add photos and files. You guys will have this, so if you want it, let me know and I'll get it to you tomorrow. I go to desktop and I will go down here to combine capital sources and lenders, and I will add this to my core ecosystem. And don't forget, it's pretty lenient on typos. I just try to correct them when I'm on you guys. So it's inspecting it. There are 1,382. When you guys go into Capital Passport, it has modes too. It has core mode for Capital Passport. It has lender mode, family office mode, and hedge fund mode. It actually will go through the whole system and help you out. So it's going through it right now. It's reviewing it. 1,382 real estate capital source records. It has 446 private lender records. A new core integration worksheet defining its role as Capital Passport, family office mode, hedge fund mode, deal reviews, lender matching, outreach, and feature enrichment. So a verification rule requiring current confirmation of lender activity, context, geography, programs, etc. Some records are visibly legacy or inactive. So it should be treated as strong raw intelligence base, not a fully verified lender directory. And here's the actual, like I said, this is actually what it will look like. When it goes through here, you guys go, it'll be a second, but it'll start going through. And once you get down, you guys know how Excels are. It'll be fully populated once you download it. But it goes through all the workflows and all this. And so we have that available. If anybody wants it, let me know. I'll download it. And so this is awesome. So another thing you guys can do is obviously Capital Passport and the apps has the cleaner and as discovery. Cleaner means you got 1,282, maybe only 900 of them are in business right now. The first thing cleaner will do is it'll go out and see if the websites are responding. If there's a 404 or 403 code that's not responding, then it will remove it. Discovery is another tool that's part of it that will actually go and, let's say you're looking for specific kinds of lenders, hard money, private money lenders, into gap. You can put in the AI system, tell it what you're looking for, hit it. It'll run API calls through Anthropic. You'll pay 2 cents to 5 cents per call. It might do 25 or 30 calls. It'll go out there and start finding lenders that are on that list for you. So that's what that app does. The GPT, this will not do that, but it is pretty substantial as well. It's just that the Anthropic goes a lot deeper than, that's why I could joke that I built a strip miner. That's kind of really it in a nutshell, guys. A lot of stuff that's happening with this tonight. Does anybody else have any questions on this? So it's pretty incredible, guys, what this thing will actually do. Doris, did you get any questions? Baruch, hey, welcome back. You were on a couple weeks ago as a guest. So welcome. Anybody got any questions about it? So like I said, I'll get those. Anybody wants that capital passport one, let me know. And then if you guys want the one that I did for, just remember to go into core and learning mode and ask for the surplus and overbid to teach it to you. And it'll teach it to you and it'll provide all that stuff. Do that for everything because you guys can learn a lot of stuff and you can get a lot of checklists, you can get all the documents, you can get everything you need. Literally everything is right there, guys. There's 12,000 pages of material powering core. So that's not capital passport, rehab, engage, or surplus and overbid of the other ones. That's actually core, 12,000 pages. If you guys ever see, if you guys ever want to see what it looks like. I want to show you all 12,000 pages, but I'll say that's how it's set up a little bit. So you got to they move some stuff around. So I can go and edit GPT, guys. And you guys go, it's the same thing. These are all those. There's 12,000 pages of information right there. So you guys, just to let you guys know. Yeah, we're getting some lightning, so definitely don't want to be on too much longer. Yeah, let me go. Let me see. Let me get back to front office Wednesday. Okay. I am processing the Zoom. This is pretty cool for those of you who haven't seen it yet. Zoom for YouTube. Can you generate suggested titles, the description, and hashtags? We don't need, and then generate a visual thumbnail under 1.99 megabytes. So the reason I put 1.99 because YouTube requires 2.0 megabytes or under, and I just do 1.99 just to make sure. When I was first doing this about a year ago, I'd have to sometimes go back and try to regenerate something. They don't always come out the same way. You'll get a really good visual. There's a couple of typos. You go try to get the same visual without the typos. Good luck with that. That was a year ago. It's all completely different now. These guys have done a lot of, OpenAI is going to be right up there with SpaceX and stuff. So is Anthropic. They're both going to be $1 trillion companies. So here's my titles. It'll tell me what the recommended one is. And so here's the titles. It'll have a description for me from the YouTube. It has a couple of our links. Then it has our suggested hashtags. And then here's the generate the visual thumbnail. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start getting ready to close out tonight. Just there's a lot of lightning in the area. So I want to make sure I don't have my computer get hit. So I'll generate this. Anybody have any questions before we part ways tonight? Same time tomorrow, 5 p.m. And just remember the schedule change next week. Wednesday is all surplus and overbid. We'd like to get a lot of people doing it, guys. It's actually pretty good. We talked about doing what we call the triple play. We were talking about it 2 years ago. We actually are going to bring it back. And there's actually 4. You can actually do 4 things, but we'll call it the triple play because so one, do surplus and overbid. Help people get the money that is theirs. Don't promise them the money though. Number 2 is go ahead and wholesale. A little bit use our resources to wholesale where you can. Number 3 is EMD, lend EMD, but you can also be an affiliate program if you don't want to lend to EMD. You can be an affiliate for us. You can pay 25% through Gumroad directly. Because there's our thumbnail. So you guys see we got the triple play, like I just talked about, the triple play, skip lizard, and delta sweeps. So that's pretty cool how it does that. So anybody got any questions before we part ways for tonight? I think I want you guys to learn, just go and start navigating it. Start using learning mode, start setting up your projects. like for these specific things that I showed you, like your market guides, generate a couple market guides if you want, even if you're not ready to expand yet. Get at least your next 2 or 3 market guides. Generate them individually. Don't go in and say I need this county, and that county. Problem is because sometimes if you try to do a judicial and non-judicial counties together, they can kind of put some information in there that it shouldn't. Like it does a really good job now, but before when I first started doing it, sometimes you'd get a little some of the data wouldn't. So you want to keep them separate a little bit. Like just do one county at a time and you're fine. So that's pretty cool. So real quick, I'll go through. Anybody got any questions?
Appreciate your time, Nate.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yep, I will get you guys the video. This video will be first thing in the morning. I'll have the links out for tomorrow night. And then everything. If you guys want that capital passport stuff, let me know. I'll get that to you in the morning as well. That database. And you just want to go in there and set up a project for that and put your capital passport, all your lenders and stuff, and have it populate. Because then you can start doing your own lender matching in GPT. So cool. All right. Everybody else, see you guys.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.